Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Hi, Daniel. How are you doing out there? How is everybody doing? This is Amy from Sevens Crafts, and I'm here with Altenew on our live stream today. And I'm also here with Roxanne, who is behind the badge. Hi, Avril. Hey, Ria. How's the Avril? How's the sound today? Does this sound a little bit better than last week? Hey, Ann. Hey, Melly. Super cold, Daniel. Oh, no, I know that's coming our way. So hello, Stacy from New York. I'm also on the East Coast. It's so nice to see you all. And Kathy and June. Wow, from Australia, New Zealand. Hi, Lilith. How are you doing? So Roxanne is behind the badge today. So if you could give a huge shout out and a huge hello to Roxanne. And she's letting you know that if you take a moment right now to share this live stream, while we are live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And today's focus is going to be the Mini Delight birthday banner set. And I'm really, really excited to share this with you. If I get through everything, I got 3 cards possibly to share with you today and some other examples as well. So thank you all. I love seeing where everybody's from. And Avril, I love the Mini Delights too. They're a great price point, and they are really, really super fun to work with. And I like that you get a stamp set and a die all in one little mighty little package. And I am going to show you some ideas to take this small stamp set, this little mini stamp set, but make a lot of different ideas with you as well. So I'm so glad to see a lot of friends, and we got some new people as well. So thank you all so much for coming here today. We have Leanne coming in from Alabama, and Sue and Liz from Michigan. Thank you so much for sharing today, and Gail from Texas, Claire from England. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Gloria, for sharing. Again, if you share and let Roxanne know that you have shared this, you will be eligible for a gift card, or a drawing for a gift card for $15 to Altenew. All right, I'm going to slide down over to my desktop, and we are going to get started taking a look at the new Mini Delight birthday banner stamp set. And I would love to know in the comments, is the Mini Delight, which we have a subscription on, is that something that you subscribe to? Is that one of your things that you look forward to every year? Every month that we have. Let me go ahead and move down. All right, everybody. So we're taking a look at my desk right now, and we are taking a look at the Mini Delight birthday banner. And I love this because with these Mini Delights, you get, ooh, Avril, you made a nice card today with 3 of the Mini Delights. Yes, that's nice because you can kind of mix and match them, which is really great. And you can see already that mine are stained a little bit because I have been loving this set. And thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. So this is a little tiny stamp set. All the Mini Delights are. And this one comes with 2 sentiments. I'm going to stamp them out for you in just a second. It comes with a banner that you can put around the sentiment. And then there's this little shaded section. I'm going to show you what you can do with that. And then we have these little banner sections. And then there is the tiniest of notes. And somebody's going to tell me what type of note that is. Thanks, Kim. I know I'm assuming that is sarcastic there, Kim, that my desk is too neat. But I got a lot of stuff going on. And then we have the a little exclamation point right over here on here. So thank you so much. And again, Roxanne is behind the badge today. So thank you so much, Roxanne, for being with us. And if you share this live stream, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew, where you could purchase this set. All right, so I wanted to show you guys what comes in this Mini Delight. And this is 2 sentiments. And of course, I'm using Altenew Obsidian Black ink right now. Oh, Claire, thank you for sharing. And that's because this is a crisp ink. Now, just be careful because this does take a second to dry. And I'm going to do my best stamping. So the first one, it says, happy birthday to you, which is so great. And then let me wipe this guy off and put him over to the side. And the next one that we have here, and I'll try to get the H in this time. It says, happy birthday, dear friend. And so that's our second one, which is happy birthday, dear friend. And I love the Obsidian ink with this because it's nice and crisp and clear. And so if you wanted to, you can kind of stamp out the birthday song. And that is by stamping out that happy birthday to you 3 times and the happy birthday, dear friend, 1 time. All right, let me stamp this one more time and I'll get that H in just so you can see it. All right, let's do one more. And right here. All right, so that's our sentiment. And I love how kind of small and tiny this is. And then there is also a banner to put around this sentiment. And it's slightly edged on both sides. So it's not a perfect rectangle. So you can see how it's kind of angled on one stuff. I know, Gloria, this ink is just, I absolutely love my Obsidian black ink. It's really my go-to ink. I don't know how many people out there, if you have tried or haven't tried this ink, it's kind of like, once you've tried it, it's kind of amazing. There's also these 2 little banners that you can put on. And the banners, when you take a look at them, this is not good because my hand is in the way. When you take a look at them, you'll see that one side is a little bit bigger than the other side. And so what you want to do is you want to stamp this bigger side on the bottom so that top is not going to be flush. And I'll show you what I mean when I do this in a second. So I'm going to take this, and they are like right-handed and left-handed. So there is like a reason or a way that they move. So this is this side banner, and I got to go right up and over here. And I'm going to do my best eyeballing this, but not getting my head in the camera. Ooh, I did pretty good. So you can see, so that ribbon is right on the side. So it makes this really, really pretty ribbon. So these are handed, means that this one will not work over on that side. So they are handed. So there is a right and a left, which is why you get 2 of them. And then there's this one as well. And so we'll put this one over on this side. I'm going to do my best again. I think that's down. All right. Oh, I did pretty good. All right, and that comes right over there. So that's our little that's our little banner. Thanks, Gloria. I appreciate it. I'm not. I definitely need my MISTI. I'm not a great one with stamp blocks, especially when things have to be lined up. All right. This also comes with the most adorable. Can someone tell me the name of this note? Is that a 1/8 note? What is this note? It is very small. But you can see that we have some musical notes there as well. And you could, if you don't have to put the banner on. So if you wanted to, you could just kind of use the banner part. You could find a different sentiment and put that in the banner as well. And then this section is a shadow. Oh, I got to do this little guy. There's an exclamation point. This is the smallest stamp, I think. If you guys think that there's a stamp smaller than this, oh boy. You cannot be heavy-handed with that. So there's a little 1/16. Thank you, Ann. Thanks, Avril. I appreciate, guys. I did not do well in music class. I was asked to leave the orchestra, believe it or not, in 8th grade. They told me to get out of there and never come back. Yeah, I tried to play the cello, but it just didn't work. All right, so this is, it's like a little shadow that you can put underneath the banner. And the way that it works is there's a flat side and kind of a not so flat side. So you're going to take the flat side and you're going to do your best. And you can use it this way. You can use it this way. It really doesn't matter. And I'm going to line this up as best I can right at the bottom. Oh, that was not good. All right, this is definitely a MISTI moment for me. There we go. Anyway, it ends up, well, we won't show you that side, but it ends up like this. So if I were to put the other banner in, then I can line these up and I have a little shadow between them. And so it ends up looking like this. And so you can imagine all the different things that you could do and kind of mess around with this. And that's what I want to show you today. So I have 3 examples. And the first example I want to do is just by kind of stamping it straight down and making a little very simple kind of very, very clean and simple card. And so what I'm going to do first is I am definitely getting my stamp positioner because I'm going to mess this up royally on this. All right, so let's move these guys over. I'm going to take all my tiny stamps. And do we have bets out there of how often I'm going to be losing the 1/16th note, Anne? It's the 1/16th note. How often I'm going to be losing that, which is going to happen quite a bit today. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to stamp out the birthday song. And I'm going to take a piece of washi, and this is the Rainbow Stripes washi tape, and I'm going to put this along the bottom. And I'll show you guys what we're going to do with that in a second, just to kind of finish the card off a little bit. So the birthday song starts off with happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, dear friend, and happy birthday to you. So I'm going to start by stamping this in black ink twice. So let me start here. And I'm going to do this right up at the top. And my card panel is already cut to 4. Yep, I realize I did that on a block and it's in my MISTI. I totally get that, guys. I totally see what I did there. That's using your tools. That's using your tools together. All right, now I want to do this in a different color just to get a little bit more color in. So this is why I'm using my MISTI and my glasses, because I got to line this guy up. All right, so I'm going to do my best. Move him over as much as possible. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use Lagoon ink, and this is from our Seashore collection. And I find when I try to hand stamp this, it doesn't work totally well. So that's why I'm going to use the MISTI. And I wanted to use the Lagoon ink just to give it a little bit of color to match in. All right, that's not bad. All right, pretty close. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to hand stamp, or I'm going to stamp this guy next. So let me pull him off. I'm going to put the next banner in, and I'm going to try to line the top of that banner up with my blue piece that I put in. And I was just thinking about, in using this set, it's just really adorable. And there's just so many different things that you can do with it. All right, so now I'm going to take my other piece and I'm going to line that up again. Okay. And I'm just going to repeat this, and just a little bit of color on this card, and we have a very, very clean and simple and quick card to put together for a birthday. And I find like this is nice. I'm always looking for gender neutral kind of things. And this is definitely one that can be gender neutral. It can be for any age. Okay, put that in. And then I just have one more round of the same thing. And I'll put this together. I could have done this in rainbow. That would have been cool. Just to get a couple of different other colors in there. And here's my last section that I'm going to use Lagoon on. And my last banner. Okay, oops. Definitely tell I've been using this quite a bit so far. Okay, how many of you guys hand stamp while your paper's still in the MISTI? I do it a lot. I do. Okay, so now I'm going to put the words in, and these are actually really easy to line up. So I'm just going to put these in, kind of move them over to the middle and eyeball it, and then I'm going to do this happy birthday, dear friend, while I got it. So I'm going to put this right in. And my key with when I stamp really fine sentiments like this is to not press very hard on the MISTI door. You just kind of want to tap it in, and you can always re-ink and repeat if you feel like you didn't get it. But I'm trying not to like smush it in. I'm kind of a little heavy-handed with my MISTI door, I have to tell you. All right, so that's 2 at once. And then this guy's all set, so I'm going to pull him off. And then I'm going to move happy birthday, dear friend. I could have probably moved my paper, but just in case if everything is not lined up, I'm going to move my stamp. All right, how's everybody doing out there? Does anyone have a birthday to celebrate soon? Or maybe a birthday in the people that you know, and you're thinking about birthday cards that you want to send? We just had some birthdays. Oh, thanks, Avril. Yep. Okay, I'm glad, Christine and Avril, that you guys also hand stamp while your paper's in the MISTI, even though the MISTI is here to help you with that problem. But so anybody have any birthdays coming up? Any birthdays cards? Are you somebody who sends birthday cards or have birthday projects? Okay. Oh, Ann. Oh, almost, Ann. You got about a month to go. Happy birthday. Oh, Marissa, this is a game changer. Marissa, is this the first time you've had a MISTI? This thing is amazing. No birthday. You know, Marissa, when I posted this, I don't know if you guys know or know about Alice in Wonderland and the unbirthday. Sometimes it's your unbirthday, and you have to celebrate that day as well. So my unbirthday is happening a lot. All right, I'm going to grab some Pinkalicious ink, and I'm just doing this because I just want to kind of add a little bit of different colors to this. And I'm hand stamping this just because this is such a tiny little stamp. And I'm just going to put these in little groups of 3. Just kind of on both sides. Add a little whimsy. Add a little something something to this. Okay, so that's that. Let me put the cover on here because you know that obsidian ink is not gonna, it's gonna go everywhere. All right, so I like this. It's really super clean and simple. And in order to finish it off, all I'm gonna do is just grab a piece of washi. And I want all the colors on there to be on there. So I'm going to take my very large pair of scissors. And I'm just going to cut off a piece of washi here. Oh boy, don't do that. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to cut it in half as best I can. And I don't want a lot. I probably want like this looks like about 2 inches or so. It's okay. I'm just going to rip this section off. And then I grab this and I just put it around my little washi just to hold on to it. So I have it for the next card I make or the next time I want something. So I just put it around the little washi like that. All right, so I'm going to take my edge that's nice and clear, nice and straight, and I'm just going to put it down nice and even. And then if I were to fold this over, I get like kind of messed up edges. So what I do is I just cut a little slit here, little slit there, and I cut a little slit here. And what that allows me to do is it just allows me to bend this up. So it's nice and easy. And then I can take this and I just pull this over. And then I'm going to grab this side and I'm just going to pull that over. And then these little tabs that I have, I can just cut them off. All right, so then we have this little kind of fun card, and it's absolutely cute. And yeah, Gloria, it's like just nice to send around to have, in your stash, in your back pocket. It just gives it a little bit of color, and this gives it a little bit of whimsy. And you can take and put sequins. If you have the mixed media inks, you can take these little guys and put them on top of the washi tape. So that one looks good. I thought it would look good on this kind of lagoon background and kind of put those together. So that's our first card. Nancy expects a handmade card. Yes, I bet you make beautiful cards too for that as well. So that's our first card. So something nice and clean and simple. So for our second project today, what I would like to do is I want to think about using the stamps as background stamps. And I want to show you an example that I made. We are not making this today, folks. Sorry about that. This did take a little bit of time. But what I did is I took that little tiny musical note stamp that you guys told me was 1/16, that tiny, tiny stamp, and I just repeat stamped it in all these kind of rainbow colors. And I think if I did this again, I would make these black and do a heat emboss in white. And I think that would really kind of stand out. But we're going to do a repeat stamping. Thanks, Avril. We're going to do a repeat stamping of the words. And so I'm going to show you a really kind of quick and easy way to do that. So I'm going to grab my, my card base. And this is already cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this in. And I'm using this Misty Corner just to kind of keep everything nice and straight. One of the other things that I find really super useful is to have a piece of grid paper, and this just will help me to find my center point. You can also use a ruler, anything at all. In fact, I think I'm going to use, I need a pencil. That is not going to materialize for me. I'm going to grab a pencil very quickly. And I always get pencils that don't have points to them. And I have this thing, it's called a centering ruler, and I'll just show you how it works. So when I put my piece down, and by the way, this is my happy birthday in honor of where we are, happy birthday pencil. So I'm going to put this down and I'm going to use my centering ruler, and I want to find exactly where the midpoint of my card is. So I'm going to find it horizontally, and then I'm going to find it vertically, or in this case, vertically and horizontally. And what I'm doing is making sure that both sides of the measurements on both sides line up. All right, so here's the center of my card. So there's the center of my card base. I'm going to erase this other lines. All right, so now I'm going to bring back in my Misty, and I'm going to take my happy birthday, and I don't know, I think I want to use, I'm just going to do happy birthday to you. I was going to say the happy birthday dear friend would look really cute here. And I'm going to line that right up in the middle as best I can. You could also do this on an angle. It looks really cool on an angle. That helps as well. Okay, here we go. All right. Put this back in. And I'm going to grab my eraser. All right, I'm going to erase my midpoint. Okay. Now, I'm going to stamp this. This will probably be, I'm going to do this in green. Am I going to be in green by then? I'll be in green by then. All right, so what I have is I have a whole variety of like rainbow ink, so I'm going to pull out a whole bunch of them. The grid I got from Simon Says Stamp, but you can take like if you just go to Google Images and you like pull out like a grid. I think these are 1/4 inches. Yeah, these are 1/4 inch grid. And you can, and this is even on the Misty site, I think. You can download this and you can get it on a transparency. You can even bring it to a place like Staples. And then you can have them do that for you. All right, I'm going to grab Grassfield ink because I'm looking for some nice, bright, happy colors. And I'm just going to stamp this in this green right here. That H does not want to cooperate. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my paper. And that's why I'm using this corner, is I'm just going to move this up just slightly. I want to make sure, go up just a little bit more. There we go. That looks good. Okay, where's my other guy? Here it is. Put him down. All right, so after green, and I'm going to start my pattern. And I'm starting in the middle to make sure that I don't mess up my pattern here. All right, I'm going to use this Persian blue. And then I'm going to stamp this one down. And so you're starting to make this, and it goes really fast once you kind of get your colors and you know exactly what you want to do with it. All right, let me grab Hydrangea next. All right, so again, I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to move it up. Make sure that lines up. And I'm going to stamp the Hydrangea down. All right, that H is better. And I'm going to go over to, that's too far. I'm going to use Rubellite. Move this up again. That one's too far. Move it back. And so I'm just kind of moving it up, and I'm using the grid line and just making sure that everything is working how I want it to work. And that's what's nice about these, is that you can kind of take it and turn it into something else. And you wouldn't have thought, but you can kind of make this into a background, which is really cool. All right, so now I'm going to pull out Coral Berry. And since I lined up from the middle, I know exactly where everything is. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to grab some orange for this one. Yeah, the grid helps. I really have to say, like a centering ruler. I like rulers. I like lines that are straight, just my math person in me. And then after that is yellow. So I think I want to grab some maple yellow. And these are nice bright colors. You could do this as a little bit of pastel if you wanted to. And kind of move this around. All right, I'm going to check on my time, see where we go. I may abandon this in a second. We're doing okay. And let me get the next one. All right, and then we repeat back again with our grass field. And so I'm just going to continue to move on, and I'm just going to repeat stamping. Screw that up. I'm just going to repeat stamping as I keep on going. Now, once I have this middle section all done, I'm going to take off my stamp and then place it down so it lines up with that middle, and then put that back again. And then I'm just going to color it. I'm going to stamp it again in the same color. And so that way it will go right across. And same I'll do on the other side, and that's how I'm going to get my repeat pattern. So it's something that you can do over and over and over again. And then at the end, I would stamp and then cut out, because remember, the Mini Delight comes with a die set. And so this, you can just cut these banners out and they look so cute. And then I just kind of put them a little wonky on here. And in order to get them to stand off my page, I just used a little bit of Obsidian ink. Be careful, make sure you dry first. But it just looks a little bit. So that repeat pattern using some of the stamps. So look at your stamps that you have within these little mini delight sets, and you can use these tiny stamps to make a repeat pattern. And of course, everything is better in rainbow. And so that is going to be, really, really be the best. All right, I'm going to move on to our third example, and I may come back to this, but I'm realizing this is going to take me a little bit longer than I have intended for today. And I wanted to show one more idea that you could use with the Mini Delight stamp set today. And that is here. So this, I stamped directly onto paper, but I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to actually cut these banners out. But what I did, this is all paper. And so we're going to cut up some strips of paper. I'm going to use what I have, and I'll show you guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about paper organization. And this is a great way to use up some pattern papers. And you'll see I have a pattern paper in here. I got a whole bunch of stuff. This is a glittery guy, a whole bunch of things. I got some textured ones. And then where I want to stamp my sentiment in the banner, I just made sure that those strips were wider. And in this case, those strips, I think they're 1.5 inches. Those strips are 3/4 inch, not quite as big. They are 3/4 inch. So everything here is about 1/4 inch. And then those are 3/4 inch. And I kind of varied the sizes of each of the strips just to give it a little bit bent. Hi, Emily. How are you doing? Thanks. I appreciate that. That was not 285 notes in that back. And Nancy, you know what? That might actually be 285 notes in that background. This did take me a while, I gotta say. This sucker took me a while. But I think if you finish off this happy birthday to you, I don't think that will take quite as long. So I don't think it will take quite as long. So, all right. So I want to talk about this and how to make this not so crazy and a little bit easier. So the best way to make that not so bad is to use the Altenew adhesive sheets. And I apologize, Roxanne, this was not on my list. I was going to email you. The Altenew adhesive sheets are fabulous for a technique like this, where you're paper piecing, or in this case, you're just putting down pieces of paper in strips, because you don't have to worry about the adhesive. And these sheets have some wonderful adhesive. Once you put this thing down, this sucker is not going anywhere. It's really, really great. Oh, thanks, Rosie. I appreciate for the color combo. I do like nice, bright, bold colors, and those are always really good. So those are some of the ones. So please use those for a rainbow. They're really, really great. All right, so for this double-sided adhesive, now I'm just using up some edges that I have. So this is not going to cover, or actually it's going to pretty close cover my entire sheet. That's good. All right, so don't peel the whole thing off. I'm just going to peel a little bit, and then I just kind of fold the backing in half. And then I just take my card base, and I'm just going to line this up as best I can. And I have a longer piece, so I can always kind of trim off. So I'm kind of walking this down and making sure that it is as lined up as I possibly can get to before I commit. I just haven't committed here yet. All right, here we go. All right, I'm committing. Here we go. Woo. All right, so now I have that down. I can double check. I'm looking good. I got a little edge. It's not a big deal. And then I'm just going to take off the rest of this adhesive sheet and put it down. Now my adhesive sheet, I still got a little left over. So I'm going to come in with those really, really large scissors, and I'm just going to trim that off. Or I'm going to come in with some really, really small scissors, because I don't know where I put my really, really large scissors. Oh, I found them. So I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to cut right along that edge, because I like to save as much of this stuff as I possibly can and use it wherever I can. Doing a little blind cutting there. Okay, so I got a little extra, so I'm just going to trim this out. And I'm going to go right along here. All right, yeah. I can run this through my cutter as well, my paper trimmer, and just make sure that all my edges are nice and flat and even, and everything's really nice and square. But in the interest of time, I'm going to move on. Save this backing. It's a great place for like doing ink blending, because it's a smooth surface and then it won't get your area all messed up. Or if you're gluing things down, that kind of stuff too. So I save those a lot. All right, so now we have an adhesive sheet. Now I'm going to cut some strips. Now I'm going to talk to you about paper. Karen, I know I do have commitment issues. I'm going to talk to you guys about some paper scraps, specifically organization. So I would love your paper scraps tips. How are you storing paper scraps? Throw them up in the chat. Hi, Diane. How are you doing? How are we doing? I'm getting all the questions up here. Awesome. All right. I'm also, thank you guys so much for being here with me today. So what I do is I have these 12 by 12 envelopes, and I keep paper scraps in here. And this way I can kind of save whatever I need. And I had this is kind of the thing that has helped me the most, or I've figured out kind of works for me. And I've organized them by color. So I'll have pink. This is a purple one, and I have brown, and I have blue and green. And so this is where I keep all of my little remnants of things. And then when I'm doing something like this, I can just grab that, because all I need is just a little strip. And so I can grab that out of here. And so that's kind of where I'm going to pull these from. So what I have is I have a baggie, and I also rated all of my like backgrounds I've made. All right, Mary Jane, that's a great idea. This is, and again, please throw your ideas for how you store your little paper scraps when you have stuff like this. So I just wanted to show you guys those backgrounds that you have, that you've made or you've used or you die cut from. This is a great way to use some of those backgrounds, because all you're looking for is like this. I blended. I love this color. And I can just cut. All I'm doing is I'm cutting a 1/4 inch out of it. And this is why you get different textures. And this was ink blended. I ink blended this. That's just a regular white piece of paper that I ink blended on. This is, you know, everything I got. So I just grabbed what I had. And then what I do when I do a project like this and I just cut a whole bunch of scraps, I just have a little bag that I keep these in. Oh, Karen, in a go box. Oh, Emily, that's a good idea. And drawers that you're keeping them in. And Rosie, yeah, please, guys, put all of your ideas in. These organization tips, everybody kind of thinks about them differently and works with them differently. So feel free to put those in. All right, so I have some already, looks like about 3/4 inch. This one's a little bit smaller. This one I love. That's a pattern paper. So I'm just grabbing some strips that I already have that I have pre-cut. And this was because I did a project a long time ago with these. Here's a nice red. All right, here's some textured ones. Let me get some textured ones. And, oh, I like this yellow. Yellow, it's nice yellow. And grab some orange. And I'm just grabbing some different colors. And, ooh, look at this green. This green has a cool little texture to it. All right, so it looks like we got a lot of boxes that you guys put your scraps out in boxes. Oh, I like this little line. And I'm just grabbing this stuff. All right, so I'm going to take, that's from there. I'm going to grab my trimmer, and I'm just going to trim a couple of these that I'd like to use today that I just pulled out. I love this green. I really want to use this. And I'm just going to cut a 1/4 inch off. That's too big. So now I have a scrap piece. This I can dump. And let me grab this I really like. So I'm going to grab 1/4 of an inch from here. That's too big. That's okay. All right. What other colors do I want from here? Grab this. So again, you just have this. I just have like some little small scraps. All right, I'm just cutting little 1/4 inches off of here. So this is a darker blue. All right, I'm going to use that. I get the red. Just kind of eyeing out which ones I'm going to actually be stamping on. Oh, I'm sorry so much, guys. I have a little visitor. Sorry about that. Okay, and gone. All right, so now that I have my pieces cut, and I have room, and I might add some more, so I'm going to put these over to the side just in case. I'm going to grab my little piece of paper, and I'm going to start right at the top. So I'm going to pull this backing back. And I have trouble with backing paper. I don't know if I'm the only one out there who's backing paper challenged, but this definitely, there we go. Oh, nope, there it is. And it doesn't matter the brand. It's not the brand, it's me. It's completely and utterly me. Anybody else backing paper challenged? Thanks, Rosie. Oh, good, Sue. This Sue, this is a great way, and use all those backgrounds. You know those backgrounds you've like tried and experimented on? Like I did. Like this is a great background. I've never used this. In fact, I think I'm going to make it my first little piece here. So I've never used it, but I'm going to try it right now and throw it on in. I even have backing tape on it, so I'm going to have like double tape right now. I'm just going to go nuts with the backing paper. All right, so I'm going to take this, and I am just going to put this down right up at the top. And it's okay that they're over. I want it to be over because when I cut it off, it's going to be nice and easy. No, Rosie, you know what? I have to tell you, it really does not come off easily. I hope it's not me. I always kind of figured it was me, but I've kind of accepted that. I don't think that's true. I think it. Well, no, but it probably is me. All right, my piece here is not straight, so I'm going to take a second just to cut this straight. I have 4 lines that are not straight. Okay, and I'm going to make this one 3/4 of an inch because I want this to be my one that I write on. Okay. You do want to make sure that your edges are nice and straight, the ones that you're abutting next to. And so I'm just going to come along and I'm just going to put this right up here. And I have a little notch here that I'm trying to make sure that this notch does not connect to. There we go. So you're just kind of using that same one, and then you just, there we go. So you can see that I just keep folding my paper back, and that's all I'm doing is just folding it back. So I'm keep folding it back and folding it back, and so I don't have a whole bunch of mess on there. And Altenew has a beautiful Ultimate Gradient cardstock, which would be perfect for this. It would be absolutely wonderful for this little section. All right, here's a little bit of orange. I'm just going to put this orange down. And Altenew has some beautiful pattern papers. Those pattern papers would be really, really nice for this. All right, I'm going to grab this one. I want to cut this off. And this is the trick when you're using scraps, is you just got to kind of make sure that everything is nice and neat and even as best you can. Such a satisfying sound when you have your thing. I'd love to know, is this a technique that you've tried or that you like, or something that you're like, oh, I think I'll try this? Grab those scraps. This is a great thing. You know, I feel like sometimes if I don't have like my crafty mojo and I'm just like, I don't know what to do, or I'm sitting in my craft room and I'm just like, I'm not really sure, I just get out my scraps. I grab some double-sided adhesive sheets and I just go for it. And it's something that you can right away get a project done. It uses up your supplies. And it's just a really kind of cool technique to do. All right, so there's my yellow. And then I'm going to come on in here with some green. I love this little green here. Stick that down. And keep in mind that I need like 4 larger widths. So I have the red, I have the yellow, and I'm going to grab, you know, this purple I'm going to use later on. And then my blue is a little too small because I wanted to use this. Oh, yep, I know. All right, so I have this. I'm just going to put in a little bit of this blue. And this, again, is a nice little pattern paper. You know what I need? I need larger blue. All right, so that's my other kind of whitish one. And then I'm going to put in a little bit of purple. And this purple one. And that gets me to the end of my card. And so you can see I have this all set up. So I'm going to grab my piece. And I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that that's all nicely adhered. So I'm going to come in with my trimmer. And in fact, I'm actually going to use, because this thing is sticking out so far, I'm just going to turn it over. And I'm just going to use my scissors to just cut right down the side. Sometimes this is a little bit faster than trying to stick all those little edges inside of your trimmer. This is where those long-handled scissors really come into play with what you're doing. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut right along the top. Okay, and there's our card. So you see you have that, and yeah, it's, you can, Emily put in, you can do it diagonally. You absolutely can. And in fact, these are a little bit on a slant, which I think will be kind of cool when we start stamping this in. So I'm going to stamp this using my block. So let me grab this guy. And I'm going to do this in the black ink. This would be so cool if you did it in embossing, like in gold embossing. That I think would be really cool. But I'm just going to hand stamp these. And what's nice is that each of these cards comes out very different because it really depends on the pieces of the pieces that you decide to use. Can I stamp on that? Nope. Okay, And here we go. All right, so there's all my 4 little banners. And so I'm going to come back in with my sentiments, and I'm just going to go ahead and stamp my sentiments in here. And so here's my happy birthday to you. And I'm just going to put this right in the middle. How many of you are nervous for me right now? Because I'm nervous for myself. Oh, look at that. Woohoo! Yeah, I know. I apologize for the wild kingdom around here. All right. And I got to say, this is, out of all the mini delights, this one is really adorable. And I feel like you can do so many different things with it. Again, by utilizing really everything that you have for this. All right, so this is our last stamp on this. Okay, and so let me hold this up so you can see it in a little bit more detail. And I'm going to take this and I can put those banners on. Thanks, Karen. I appreciate it, guys. And thanks. Yeah, the finished card with the strips background. So I have this right here, Sue. And this, I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna finish this up, and so you can see it. And I love when I do rainbow. I don't know what it is, but I love putting them on black cardstock back, like on black cards. So I have one here, and so you can really see how that's gonna make that rainbow pop out, and it just looks really cool. All right, I just have enough time. I'm gonna add on to this the little banner edges. And what I do first with these, because of the fact that the banners have an edge to them and they have a side, without any ink, I just kind of use this and kind of decide where it's going to go. And so when you're doing this, that little section that's a little bit fatter is going to go on the bottom. And that one we're going to line up here. Okay. And this is actually like the fact that I can hand stamp this. Well, everybody, that says a lot. Because I get really nervous with this, and I tend to kind of not do this as evenly as possible. So, but the fact that I can hand stamp this is pretty good. So I'm going to go down one side with this same stamp. And you saw how quickly this comes together. I mean, I did this in 15 minutes. I was watching the clock there. So this came together. It also helps if you have, you know, all of the strips kind of cut out already. And I only had to cut out a few of the strips. So I really recommend kind of for you to take a look at your stash and see what it is that you have and use that and think about using those in kind of some different ways. All right, so here's the other one. And I know this is the other one because I already did the other side. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to do this and just put it together. And I'm just lining up the edge of this with the side. So forgiving. Well, let's just say if I can do this by hand, that's pretty good. All right, there we go. So there's our card. And yeah, I agree, Emily. And this, the Obsidian ink is such a nice dark ink that it really, really helps, especially on something like a rainbow. It really, really helps. And then you can add a couple of sequins. You can add a couple of things. My card on this side is a little wonky. So I'm just going to put this in my trimmer just to make sure that I have an even side and everything's cut even because I used my scissors before. And I'm going to try to do this without messing up my ink. Okay, so I'm just cutting this down just to kind of make sure it's totally even. Because like I said, I used my scissors to cut it. So it means I'm a little bit smaller. Okay, there we go. I have to say my paper crafting skills come in handy in my other job as a teacher when I have to cut out things for the kids and use paper trimmers. And there we go. All right, so now I'm even on all sides. And I'm just going to grab my tape and I'm just going to throw this right down. And I didn't use it because I totally forgot, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. Is Altenew has some really beautiful like 1/4 inch washi tapes, like the Delicate Stripes or this this polka dotted one. And there's even this beautiful gold trim, which I should have put down now that I think about it. And you can use these washi tapes in addition to the paper. And that was, it just makes it nice and easy. It gives it a little shine and it gives it a little bit of texture. So when I do striped backgrounds like this, I really try to change up the texture. I really try to change up all of these things just to give it a little bit different. So I'm going to put these two side by side. And so you can see how different they look. And by having that, you know, just some different types of papers, your specialty papers, the ones you're like afraid to use, those are all ones you can do. All right, I'm going to come on up and actually let me show you the cards that we made today and what we did. So we talked about first, just a clean and simple little card. So you can stamp this, use a little bit of washi tape to decorate, and just stamp this out. And it just looks so cute. You can use those smaller stamps as a background. And so here's the one that I will finish, and I'll post it over on the Altenew fan group, and I'll finish that up today. But this was using that tiny little musical note. And then the other thing you can do is use up your paper and make little stripes and add the washi tape in just for a little bit of glitz and glam. And then that's what we can do. So I'll come on up here. So I'm going to change right now to this. And I just wanted to say thank you all so much. Thank you to Roxanne for being behind the badge today and keeping up with everything that was going on. And for this little birthday banner, this is the Mini Delight, really packs a punch. And so go take a look at your stamp sets and take a look at what you can do and kind of see where you can use those other stamps in order to try out some different things. So I just wanted to say thank you so much, Samantha. Thank you, Christine. Thanks, Sue. Thanks, Stacy. It's been so wonderful just to have a little bit of time to share with you today. I'm really grateful that you are all here and that we got to go ahead and do some crafting. I hope I inspired you on Amy's Inspiration Station, and I hope that I inspired you to go and grab your scraps, grab some tiny stamps, and see what you can do with those. So thank you all so much, and you have a wonderful and crafty day. Thank you all so much.